very much, Mr. Speaker. This week, TransAlta will be brought in front of the Market Surveillance Administration to answer for a case of price fixing that resulted from withholding of electricity from the market in order to drive up prices. The most disturbing thing in all of this is that the practice of economic withholding is supported by this government and its predecessors to, quote, increase investment. My question is to the Minister of Energy. Why does the Alberta government and its regulatory authorities give a green light to power companies to create artificial shortages, driving up prices and allowing consumers to be gouged?
Thank you. The Honourable Minister of Energy.
Mr. Speaker, actually TransAlta is appearing before the Alberta Utilities Commission this week on an application made by the Market Surveillance Administrator. The MSA alleges certain practices on behalf of TransAlta. That's the topic of the hearing. It's a quasi-judicial process. I'm going to let that process unfold, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Member. First up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Very nice dodge, Mr. Minister, but those rules don't apply to something before the AUB. Given that in November 2010, TransAlta exported power from the province to create an artificial shortage and increase the price it could get for its product, and given that the market was manipulated by power corporations staging so-called discretionary shutdowns of generation during peak periods in 2010 and 11, costing consumers over $40 million while boosting corporate profits by millions, to the Minister, does the Minister see a pattern of power companies?
Thank you. The Honourable Minister for a response.
Mr. Speaker, the pattern that I see is that activities, alleged or not, are fully understood, they're public, they're discussed, and they're brought before the Alberta Utilities Commission for due process. And as I said, I'm going to let that process unfold. I believe in it, Mr. Speaker.
Final supplemental.
Mr. Speaker. Well, given that electric power is an essential service for Alberta families and businesses, and given that the current deregulated system leads to price gouging, power shortages, and a power rate roller coaster, to the Minister of Energy, will he finally admit that electricity deregulation has put consumers at the mercy of big power companies and finally bring deregulation to an end once and for all?
The Honourable Minister.
I'll admit no such thing, Mr. Speaker. The deregulated power system in Alberta has served Albertans very well. When there are issues, they're investigated and prosecuted if need be. In the meantime, the member fails to acknowledge that we've had amongst the lowest power prices for the last months that we've seen for months and months. I'm confident in the system and the checks and balances in place, Mr. Speaker.